Hi folks, how you doing? I'm Ross Minton, this is Grow Your Own Life, and I'm going to talk to you about the permission and the insurance and other things you need to go metal detecting in the UK. This is probably different in other countries, but I'm in the UK, so I'm going to talk to you about the UK. Makes sense to me. Anywho, please like and subscribe my videos, and as always, I'll get straight to it. Please hit that bell and subscribe and drop me a comment below. I love hearing from you folks, so the more comments the better. You can probably hear my chickens, so if I look down for whatever reason, don't be alarmed, I'm not being attacked, it's just my chickens. So in the UK, all the land is owned. A lot of people don't realise this, but every single bit of land in the UK is owned. It's either owned by the Crown, it's owned by private people or private firms, or it's owned by local authorities and councils and city councils and town councils and that kind of thing. There's no such thing as public land in the UK. There's public access, but there's not public land. So this basically means that things like parks, we have the right to go on parks and, you know, play football and have picnics and do that kind of thing, but we don't have the right to do anything else on that park other than that. And we certainly do not have the right to go on parks and dig up holes and go metal detecting. That is the quickest way to get yourself arrested, and yes, you can get arrested in the UK for metal detecting without permission. And the law, what you will be breaking is you will be going equipped to steal, because the land is owned by somebody, therefore the things in the land are owned by somebody, and if you're going there to take those things out of the land, you are going equipped to steal, which is exactly the same as if you were caught at night in someone's back garden with a crowbar. So basically you could get a criminal record and be treated like a burglar if you go metal detecting without permission. What is metal detecting permission? Metal detecting permission is basically approaching a landowner, and it has to be a landowner, not a tenant or someone who rents. It has to be the person who physically owns the land. So that could be, you could approach a council, you could approach the Queen if you wanted to. I'm not sure she would reply. You could, and obviously most people approach farmers, because farmers have lots and lots of land. Before I'm rudely interrupted by the chickens, we'll carry on. So, permission. Most people ask farmers for permission because farmers have loads and loads of land, and there's no easy way of doing this. There's people that will tell you all different ways of getting permission, but the simple fact of the matter is you have to go and knock on doors, be polite, and be prepared to be told no, and even be prepared to be told off. Because there are a few farmers out there, and I understand why they're like it. They don't want people on their land, and they don't want people on the land not because, you know, they're miserable, or not because any other reason than they've had rogues on their land stealing their farm machinery, you know, stealing their lambs, whatever else, and they just don't want strangers hanging around. So they don't want to run the risk of you telling your friends and this, that and the other, and they get more and more people, so they just flat out, for an easy life, say no. You got to be prepared for that. At the end of the day, it's their land, and we have no more right to that than they do, as if they knocked on your door one day and said, excuse me, can I come and sit in your back garden and have a beer? You know, it's their land, they can do what they want with it. Just be nice and polite. And to be perfectly honest, I found 99% of the farmers I've spoken to have been really good. I have a few permissions, I don't have a fat lot of permissions, but it is what it is. Basically, you've got to do the legwork, you've got to be nice to people, and you've got to get permission. I will say one thing: try the less obvious places, and by that I mean sometimes you won't get access to massive farms simply because people have already been, and they've either already been knocked back, other people have already got that as a permission. So what you want to do is go to the obscure places, go to, I don't know, stables, go to small holdings, go to people that just have, you know, 4, 5, 6 acres or something like that, and knock on houses. You drive past a house and it looks like they've got, I don't know, 3 acres and a horse and whatever in it. Knock on the door and say to them, oh, you know, hi, I'm Steve, I'm a metal detectorist, blah blah blah, would you be interested in letting me go in your field? Chances are that they'll say no, but you never know. If the owner of that house is a history geek like us, they might say, that's really cool, get in. And I've had that, and I've metal detected in some really cool little paddocks just at the side of houses, just because I've knocked the door and said, do you mind if I metal detect in your field? And they're like, yeah, come back next week. So try the obscure places. Honestly, that's probably one of the easiest ways to get a metal detecting permission. Also, you can go on some beaches, not all beaches, because there could be sites of special scientific interest. They could also be privately owned beaches again, but most of the beaches in the UK are owned by the Crown, And if you go on the Crown Estate website, you will see that the Crown allows metal detecting on the foreshore of their beaches. Obviously, do your own research, look at the maps, find the beaches near you, find which ones you can and can't go on. And beach metal detecting is probably a really easy way of getting started. But if, like me, you live in the West Midlands, you live as far away from the sea as we can do in the UK. I live something like 69 miles away from the sea, and I believe in the UK you're no more than 72 miles away from the sea. So yeah, I'm about as far away from the sea as you can get. So beaches, although I like to do it on holiday, it's not really an option for me, because I don't fancy a 2-hour drive there and a 2-hour drive back to Wales to go metal detecting once a week. So once you've found your permission, and you've got permission, and the farmer, the landowner, whoever it says yes you can come detecting, what you will probably need, and I just need to cover over my number, is National Council of Metal Detecting membership card. Why do you need that? Because it's got liability insurance. You pay something like £8 for the year per person, and that means you're insured. I think it's for £10 million worth of liability, but again, look on their website, you'll find that. And you're covered then. So if you go into a field, and if you dig up an old World War II bomb and it goes off, and luckily you survive, but you take out half the farmhouse and kill the prize bull, if you haven't got insurance, you're going to be left with a very, very big bill, possibly get sued by the farmer for destroying his house and killing his prize bull. But if you've got the insurance and you've done everything correctly and you follow the rules of metal detecting, then you are sorted. And you might joke about this and you might think that's a really silly thing. You're not going to hit a World War II bomb and you're not going to kill a prize bull and this, that and the other. I know for a fact that in the last month in the UK there was a metal detecting event where somebody left the gate open, and I wasn't at this event, this is what I've seen. Somebody left the gate open and some lambs got onto a main road and were run over. Okay? Yes, these things happen all the time. Okay? You could leave a gate open by mistake. You could, I don't know, you could reverse your car leaving the field over a pig. You could do something, you know, completely crazy. It could happen. You could go metal detecting in a field. You've done everything right, absolutely everything right, but I don't know, a badger's come along and pulled one of your plugs out the ground, left a hole, and then a sheep's gone, walked in the hole, broke its leg and needs to be put down. And then you're going to get a call from an angry farmer that's saying, why has my £500 prize ram got a broken leg and had to be put down, and I found a hole in the field and it was yours because you were in there yesterday, blah 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 blah, this, that and the other. And you're like, oh my god, I got to find 500 quid to buy a prize lamb. Not with insurance, you haven't. So get the membership to the National Council of Metal Detecting, then you're covered for your insurance, and you can do all this, and you can go on permissions and feel a lot happier knowing that if the worst happens, and touch wood, we hope it doesn't, you're covered by the insurance.